Everybody's got a mall and a movie theater. Because I live in the big city of Wilmington, Delaware, I live smack dab in the middle, right between two malls. Both malls are in the suburbs. They're not near any big public housing projects, not near any black neighborhoods. But both malls are subject to some pretty nasty bits of black violence directed at the shop owners, directed at the shoppers, directed at the people who work there. But sometimes we don't hear about it because, we've been talking this year about how the National Association of Black Journalists has been doing a large campaign to improve the image of black men in the media. They say black men, we catch them committing too many crimes, put it on TV too much, which is the opposite of the truth. And they don't think that's good. So they're not trying to convince black men to get a job and stop bonking people over the head. What they're trying to do is convince the news directors to stop putting black criminality on the air on any level. Well, the National Association of Black Journalists has an ally in this. They have an ally in every mall owner in America, because every mall owner knows if the word gets out that your mall, inside the mall, out in the parking lot, if your mall is a center of black criminality, people just aren't going to go there. They're just going to find somewhere else to go, or they're just going to stay home and use Amazon. And that's a plain fact. I mean, I was just at one of my malls the other day. It's called the Christiana Mall. I was out there walking around with a few of the viewers of this channel. And all of a sudden, the sign showed up. I knew what the sign was. The sign said, we're going to see a couple more examples of this. The sign said, hey, we don't want juveniles in here after a certain time, a certain place. Well, the fact that, I've been getting emails from security guards there saying, Colin, you don't read this in the paper, but we had a large-scale episode of black mob violence in the Christiana Mall or in the mall right next to it. There's a lot of shopping centers right in that one area. And then they say nobody hears about what's going on. Every once in a while, you hear about something happening in the parking lots, and the mall owners are desperate not to let anybody know what this is. They're desperate not to let people know that large-scale mob violence in a mall is a black thing. We've done over 100 videos, hundreds of examples of this on our YouTube channels and in my books. YouTube can take down my videos. They can't take down my books. And that's what we see at the Christiana Mall. We see some examples of that at the Brandywine Town Center, where good old Colin smokes a cigar from time to time. But why don't we head down to the Memphis area, where we can meet this lovely young lady here. She's a member of the National Association of Black Journalists. And watch how she approaches this episode of black mob violence at a mall, a movie theater in a mall. The attitude is like, wow, what is this? I've never heard of this before. I mean, kids, this is a thing? Kids really do this? Wow, is it good we kick kids out of the mall? When this kind of violence is a regular thing that is destroying malls all over the country, and this reporter either doesn't have a clue or is pretending she doesn't have a clue, and I don't know which one's worse.
Well, it's something you expect to see in a movie. Instead, fists were flying at the movies. All new at 9, Fox 13's Jarita Patterson has more on the Bartlett Brawl and why new rules are being put in place.
It was a movie theater melee. Cell phone video of this brawl has been shared thousands of times and viewed well over 100,000 times on social media. I spoke by way of phone to the man who hit record. He told me there was an argument over a boy, and when this happened, multiple girl fights broke out at once. So you can understand the reaction from this Memphis man who was shocked as he viewed for himself what happened inside the Bartlett Cinema.
You know, they're kind of like watching wrestling on TV.
But this was all too real. I went back to the Hollywood 20 Cinema just off Stage Road to get more information. Taped to the front entrance is a note that says those 17 and under must be accompanied by a parent for evening movies Friday and Saturday. Now, this is similar to this parental policy we told you about last week that Oak Court Mall put in place. It's a precaution after shots were fired outside the Wolf Chase Galleria last month.
And the parents are off doing what they want to, and they're not worried about their kids. And that's why the world's, becoming the way it is, because the parents don't care anymore.
But several concerned parents did reach out to Fox 13, so I went looking for answers. I wanted to know if this parental mandate was temporary or permanent, and what was being done to keep other moviegoers safe. Before I could ask management those questions, I was asked to leave the property. I did. Although this woman, presumably the manager who asked me to leave, did not want to speak on camera. She was eager to give me a hand gesture, which we have blurred. What happened here is a real concern.
It worries me because, I've got nieces and nephews, and then I've got 2 godkids as well. So I'm afraid to be out even in public because something might happen when I'm out with them. They could get shot or something, be thrown at them or something like that.
I was able to get more details from the man who captured the video. He told me security jumped in quickly to break up the fights, and he did not see anyone detained. Bartlett police told Fox 13 through email it would not be until Monday at the earliest when information would be made available.
Really, people are afraid to come out because of stuff like that.
A shared sentiment from those I spoke with off camera as well.
Even a cursory look at Google, if you put in the words Google large fight movie theater, large fight mall, you'll see tons and tons of stories. About these episodes of large-scale black mob violence in malls. Here's a story out of Columbus. I'm not sure if it's Ohio or Georgia. I'll put it up on the screen when I figure it out. Another episode of large-scale black mob violence in Columbus, again put together by members of the National Association of Black Journalists. They won't tell us what's happening. Apparently, the movie theater has decided they're not going to sell tickets to the youngins after 7 p.m. because of events. And you won't tell us what those events are.
Then you might want to listen up for some changes, as we've confirmed ticket changes are coming to a local movie theater here in the Chattahoochee Valley. Our Tony Sloan talked to moviegoers about the coming change. Tony, what are the reactions out there?
Well, Chandler, things are going to be a bit different at a certain movie theater in Columbus, and with this new rule, there were mixed reactions to this. Of course, the younger people didn't really agree with that rule, while the parents definitely understand.
I'd be pretty upset. People become the age of 18, you can sign yourself out of school, you can drop out of school, but you can't go see a movie without your parents.
Some say that they would be frustrated if those who are around the age of 18 years old are unable to buy a movie ticket without parental supervision. But according to management at the AMC Peachtree 8 movie theater, tickets will no longer be sold to those under 18 after 7 p.m. Some say, why not?
Well, you can take out a loan, you can buy a car, house, basically do anything you want. It's kind of silly rule.
The AMC says that the goal of the rule is to cut down fights at the theaters.
People fight anyways. I don't know why they do it at the movie theater. I didn't even know this was a rule, honestly. I don't know why it would be a rule. It's kind of silly.
The policy is already in effect, with official signs replacing the temporary ones in the coming days. Parents feel like this is a good rule to implement, stressing safety as the main priority for moviegoers. And some say that they are willing to make the sacrifice for their children.
I would want my daughter to be able to go to the movie, but if I have to be there, then I have to just make that sacrifice, because I want my daughter to be safe. As a mother, I want her to be safe.
And this policy was in place when the theater was previously owned by Carmike and is being re-implemented due to recent events. Back to you, Chandler.
And so here's my question for these intrepid reporters. And it's not just a reporter, right? Because when you do a TV story, you've got a reporter, you got a producer, and you go back to the studio, you got a director, you got anchors, you got sound, you got the news director, you got a lot of people look at that video. And you mean to tell me not one person looks at these videos and says, oh yeah, that's been happening a long time. Not one person will look at that movie, the second video we saw, and say, hey, why are they kicking them out of those theaters again? There's some events going on there. Does anybody know anything about the events? I mean, back in the day, we used to call that news. But now the National Association of Black Journalists has decreed their members shall not portray black people in a bad light, because everybody knows portraying black people in a bad light forces them to go out and commit crimes like having big rumbles at the malls that destroys their business and drives away customers. Apparently, drawing attention to the fact that black people are ruining malls causes black people to ruin malls. Drawing attention to their criminality also does one other thing they really don't like. That makes a lot of black kids angry.